Kislev! We have traveled far and fought hard, but at last we have arrived in Khorne's bloody realm. Before us stands the Brass Citadel, where the blood god's Gatekeeper stands guard. We must call out the fiend and slay him. He rallies his demons for a last desperate defense. Vanquish them with ice and steel. This is the ruined fort, defended by Khorne's lesser thralls. Wipe them out and capture the icon of ruin. This will give me a foothold and grant us supplies to reinforce for the struggle ahead.
Hello, monsters abound here, and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3. I've had some other videos out, but this one is going to be a little bit different because this is literally just the battle we got to play. So this is me narrating, me playing the battle. I am now going to pick apart my own past monsters abound strategies. Now, first off, you start off with a small force. You've got 4 Zargard there, you've got Katerin, of course, you've got the 3 Kossars, and a couple of Winged Lancers. So you start off heading towards the first icon. There's 3 of these, and you need to take and hold each one. And when you start the battle, obviously you've got this little force to deal with there. Nothing particularly tricky. I'm giving them the run around with the Winged Lancers, but to be honest, that's just a waste of time, because I probably could have just charged them and killed them. All of the Khorne's units in this battle do have a lower health pool than normal, because a lot of the people playing the game weren't necessarily Total War players. They would have been press. They're more used to playing, I don't know, Animal Crossing or something. And that's fine. Animal Crossing, not a lot of warfare going on there, as far as I'm aware, anyway. So we're going to head up to the icon of, I can't remember what it's, Blood, Torment, nasty, spiky things, who the fuck cares. Each one of these will give you a nasty debuff if your units are below 50% morale, I believe. And taking them will then remove that, although it doesn't really feel like it's a debuff that I'd particularly notice. But as you can see, just like a city centre, as you go towards the city, towards the icon, it will slowly start increasing. The more units you have there, the faster it goes. Once you've captured it, you will then get the ability to recruit additional reinforcements.
The icon of ruin is ours, and we have supplies to fortify our position. Use them to construct defensive towers here. We can barricade these bottlenecks. Use the portals to summon fresh troops or heal and upgrade our warriors, using whatever supplies we have left.
So, as Katerin said, we can now recruit reinforcements from that little portal, and also build barricades and towers. Now, for me, I quite liked these arrow towers with slowing shots, because this is the 3rd time I've played this battle, and by this point, I'd come to the conclusion that the best way to win it, or at least win it more easily than you would normally, was just to concentrate on slowing units and shooting them to pieces. So that's what I went with. So the barricades I ignored completely. There's 4 different types of barricades, 4 different types of towers that you can construct. The barricades and towers can be constructed in these locations. So specific locations, the barricades can be constructed along those choke points there, and the towers can be constructed at the little square locations. Enemy reinforcements then start coming in for the icon of whatever the fuck this one is. Then the units came in from one side and then the other, so quite easy to deal with. Again, they had a very low health pool, so I decided to focus on my missile units. So you get supplies, and you can see the supplies at the top there. We've currently got 1986, and I'm deciding to recruit a couple of units of Kossars. And they will then come in to the battle at the location where I've requested them, through that little flamey portal there. It's a bit Stargate, but it's fine. And you can see that the enemies aren't really getting anywhere near me. And, I mean, that's fine. It is the first location. After all, the waves do get harder. You can also see that we've got a little wave percentage marker up there, so it's going to tell us that there's 85% remaining of wave 1. And you also get the icon summary over there. I'll tell you how many areas have been constructed on as well, so it will show you the number of building slots for barricades and towers and how many have been built. The towers can take damage, but it didn't happen very often. It just occasionally flashed up that buildings were under attack, and I'd never built the barricade, so I'm assuming they're attacking towers. I'm guessing it might have been the towers shooting at each other accidentally, so I don't think that you're going to have to really worry too much about that. If there was too many enemies for my missile units to deal with, which was a rare occurrence, then I just got Katerin to chuck in a Heart of Winter, which was, well, devastating. The ice law was... It's very good at controlling units and also killing them. So you could slow them down a lot. I mean, they're already being slowed down considerably, and then you could just murder them. And if any survived, then just got shot to pieces. You can see my Kossars there are just riddling them. Now, something interesting to note is you may see throughout the battle is that the banner, or the sort of like little banners that the units have over them to discern what type of unit they are, as they take damage through the battle, it seems like the banner also takes damage, which is something new. So you might see that a unit that's taking a lot of damage, suddenly the banner looks tattered and torn, and then it's completely destroyed. And I'm saying this now, like, I'm fairly sure I haven't seen this in Warhammer 2, and I just haven't noticed it, but I'm fairly sure it's new. So if it's not, then it's something that I've never noticed before. So, I mean, that's just life with me. I'm just constantly surprised by all the new things that happen. So once you've dealt with 50% of the enemy wave, they will appear on the other side, which again... It means it's quite useful. I mean, you could deal with one side with your missile units, and then you could just move them over and deal with the other side. So it's not a particularly difficult battle, this one. The waves that come at you aren't particularly problematic until the very last one. It's pretty easy to deal with. I say, this is the third time I played through it, and by this time I was like, okay boys, here's the drill, here's what we're going to do. Now, it should be said, you can actually deconstruct the towers. So, if you want to knock them down, it will give you back some supplies, if you need them. Which is nice. You might also see that I've upgraded my Kossars. So, my Kossars have got a little gold bow icon, and that's because I've given them upgraded bows. It costs supplies, everything costs supplies. But that's then going to allow them to be more shooty. And obviously, seeing as I'm relying on my shooty units to do the damage in this battle, I felt that, you know, giving some supplies for that was a useful way to spend them, particularly this early on. So I've got these gold bow Kossars. You might be thinking, yeah, but what happens when you run out of ammunition? Well, you actually get buffs as well. So you can spend supplies on healing units, on replenishing their ammunition, and also increasing or reducing their fatigue as well.
Very well.
We must press on into the blood pits and seize the icon of blood!
So now we need to capture the icon of blood in the blood pits. And just in case you weren't aware what the blood pits were, there's a big flaming skull spewing blood. Just in case you weren't sure which Chaos Realm you were in. You needed to check the fucking map. Nope. It's fine. I think we can probably tell. Now, throughout the battle, you will constantly get attacked from the rear by Furies and Chaos Warhounds. Nothing particularly dangerous, but they will retake the previous icon if you leave it. So, I will leave some of my Kossars. I quite like the guys with spears because they're fairly okay at dealing with Chaos Warhounds and Furies. They're absolutely fine. You can see I'm upgrading the missile attacks of my Streltsy because I fucking love those boys. I considered upgrading the Kossars that are going to like just hold the line forever now. But I decided they're actually pretty effective as it was, so it's fine. Don't need to waste supplies on them. They'll just be fine. So we get another little wave attacking us. Again, nothing particularly concerning. Some bloodletters and some chaos warriors. Again, they say there's just nothing to read. The winged lancers just murdering everything, and anything that comes into range of my guns getting, well, taking a real pounding. So we're going to take the icon of blood in the blood pits next to the big burning skull spewing blood into a pool of blood, just in case. Had any queries about where we're at? Yep, good. I mean, that's got to be slippery, hasn't it? That's a health and safety nightmare, Khorne. And unsanitary. I mean, Jesus.
We fight for
Now, the Tsar Guards are quite tanky, but I decided
The icon of blood
I could have spent the resources on giving them some armor, and I was like, nah, it'll be alright. I'll just heal them up whenever I need them, it's fine.
The fresh supplies to summon
Again, we're going for the towers, which reduce speed.
barricades to help the defense.
Now, I have left the towers at the first icon standing, because obviously we have a lot of the units attacking that rear guards, and I haven't left many units down there. We get some new units to recruit as well. Ice Guard, we get the little Grom, the like mortar cannon thing, we get the Patriarch, he's like a support character, bunch of interesting and cool units.
Very well.
And yeah, once again, our missile units are going to make very short work of any unit. Of course, we've got the towers now right right there, right next to where they spawn. The barricades as well, but these barricades seem to be like, I don't know, wildly out of the way. I felt like keeping all my units in one position where they could support each other was a far better strategy than splitting them up with barricades.
The motherland.
Now, I do like Little Grom. It's only the one artillery unit, but it does, I mean, when it hits, especially when they're densely packed like that, it really does pack a punch. So Little Grom has a place in my heart. I didn't really bother too much with the cavalry. Mostly because I felt like the infantry was better suited to this type of battle. You could potentially bring the cavalry in to like mop up, but I preferred to spend it on infantry units and sort of upgrading them and healing them and keeping them in tip-top condition. I tried to keep my cavalry out of the way for the most part. Just get those hybrid units. The Kossars, Ice Guards, they had good attacks as well. And of course the Streltsy, I mean, all of your missile units are hybrid units, which means even if they do get into combat, they still mess shit up.
One final push to the boiling moat. We must seize the icon of torment and tempt Khorne's Gatekeeper from his lair.
Yep, the Icon of Torment, like cheese to a mouse for the Gatekeeper of Khorne, apparently. Now, I'm going to knock these towers down because they are no use. No more enemies spawn from sort of this. They're only spawning from the very back of the map, not this area. So you won't get reinforcements coming from here either. So we just decided to knock down those towers, get my cavalry some action, my winged lancers, because I haven't bothered recruiting the Griffin lancers or the Bear cavalry. You can't actually recruit the Bear cavalry yet. I could recruit the Griffin lancers, but I haven't done that there, because I just didn't really see the point. So moving up to the Icon of Torment, you can see we can restock the ammunition there to make sure that our missile units can continue to fire. And yep, they've all got gold chevron. I haven't given the Ice Guard gold chevron weapons, and I've got the resources to do it. I guess I just decided not to. I'm actually going to upgrade these towers because the range on them is sort of enough to support me at the next battle. So after some consideration, I decided to just upgrade these guys, because I was like, you know what, they can actually help me out during the final battle. So that seems like a good use of resources. More towers, more good, right?
Follow the bear.
And my Kossars are continuing to fend off the Furies and Chaos Warhounds. Good job, lads. Top work.
I claim the icon of torment. The demon will come. Use the last of our supplies to ready our defenses. Raise towers. Raise barricades. And summon forth the greatest of the motherland's champions.
I'm actually going to build barricades here because I feel like getting some just big old walls in that area is good shout. You also get a whole slew of new units, including the Elemental Bear, to recruit at this icon. And this wave is going to be the toughest you fought to date, including waves of Bloodthirsters, Blood Crushers, Skull Crushers, Skull Bloods, Bloody Skulls. I don't know. You get the idea. These poor Bloodthirsters, I mean, they're so fast, they kind of rove ahead of the rest of the army, and that's a mistake. Turns out you can be a manifestation of war, but just not against guns. The Elemental Bears are very tanky and very useful to have in the front line, especially against this demonic cavalry, because they do pack a punch, and the Tsar Guards, not really a unit for taking a charge from a cavalry unit. They still have a lot of melee defense and fairly good armor, but this demonic cavalry really does have some pretty good stats, and especially on the charge, they're going to do a lot of damage. Fortunately, the bears can pretty much just weather that. So we get 2 elemental bears. I'll get another little Grom just because I like watching Chaos Warriors being bowled over like Skittles. You can see they're attacking from both sides now. Taking it from both sides. It's a delicious Kislev sandwich, and I'm the meat. Now, they do like to attack the barricades. So they are trying to smash their way through the barricades, and that's giving me some time. And should they break through, I can always reconstruct them. Obviously, I don't get the supplies back. I guess you could knock them down, and if they were just about to be destroyed, maybe? I don't know, I didn't try. Not something I actually played about with.
Land is power.
And finishing off the last of this wave. See, it's about 26 minutes now, so not a short battle. The last few units could be problematic, especially this skull cannon. They like to hang back, and considering I like to stick at the victory point.
Khorne's Gatekeeper shows himself at last! Warriors of Kislev, prepare for the fight of your lives!
He's a big lad, isn't he? Which is why we're going to... I've been waiting for him. So we're going to freeze him in place, and then I'm just going to shoot him with everything I've got. So basically, all my missile units are being held back just to basically act as a firing squad for him. He does have like 21,000 health, though. So he is fairly tanky. However, pin him down and keep shooting at him long enough. You can see he's actually got the icon there to say what rank he is, which is a new thing, which is nice. And he gets also get a little boss icon, which is quite nice. And there we go. He's taking a lot of fire because he's buffed himself up with Bloodthirst, but that's not going to help him.
The Frost Bringer!
He sits. Of course, throughout this, you're still being attacked, so you need to continue to fend off these waves while trying to deal with this Gatekeeper boss. I knew those magic towers would come in handy.
I am the Blizzard! My brave Kislevites, we stand triumphant. But Khorne is not the only dark god with a realm in this accursed place. The battle is won, but the war goes on. Come, we must continue our search for what is lost.
So that was the battle we got to play for Warhammer 3, and oh, it's great. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to get my hands on Warhammer 3 again. Thoroughly looking forward to it. The battle was really enjoyable. The time we have with it is always too short, so there's plenty of stuff that I missed, I'm sure, but really, really cool. If you're interested in a quick summary of what we went through and also the rosters for both sides, as far as we are aware, I have videos out on those as well. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.